Hello and welcome to the Easy Speak Academy Pronunciation Skills Workshop. In today's video, I'm going to be looking at the evaluation tools, the first of which is what I call a 15-minute assessment. Let's get started. This particular evaluation was originally created for workforce training counselors to use to evaluate the English pronunciation of their clients. It's quite simple. It's simply based on reading a short paragraph, and based upon what the counselor would hear during this part of the conversation, they would make a recommendation if this particular client could use more pronunciation skills training or not. In our case, it's interesting because it's something you could do by yourself, for yourself. If you have a friend to do it with, even better. You'll see the form in a second. Means that the pronunciation training is recommended, that they need more training. Decline means that their English is understandable and they don't need extra help in that regard. So the good news is that if you're in the gray zone, you're doing very well. Now let's look at the paragraph. I'm going to read it. I created this paragraph to highlight very difficult sounds and letter combinations. This is a difficult paragraph to read. But the good news is it highlights weaknesses and strengths so that you know where you stand, and for its purpose to identify if someone needed extra help or not. Here we go. Let me read the paragraph to you. The girl was hungry and thirsty. She went to the kitchen to get something to eat and drink. After she ate chips and drank some milk, she looked at her book, read a few pages, and then went to sleep at 7:30 p.m. You see a lot of letter combinations in there. The R and the L and the K. Book, milk, girl, looked with the T ending. All of that is attempting to isolate very difficult sounds so that when we get into the evaluation criteria below, the first question is, do you understand what the client says? And they have choices. Not at all, barely, some of the time, most of the time, and yes. So here, if you or your friend know that you're not well understood, you'd be in the white area. However, if you're understandable, you'd be in the gray area. Additional training wouldn't be necessary. But use this guide just to give yourself an idea about where you stand. You have to figure out where your problems are before you can fix them. The next criteria, how would you classify the client's rate of speech? Very fast. It's one gigantic run-on sentence. You heard me say in another video, it's just a gigantic mumble. That's what we're talking about. If it's a good rate of speech, it's acceptable. You can make a choice. You can see, and most importantly, hear the differences. Are the word endings, are they missing? Are they truncated, means cut off? Or are they slurred? Or do people just ignore them? Any of the above. And that's why we put there those endings with the LK and the RL and the look, to see that's what we're talking about right here, about the endings. Now, one of the areas of evaluation is you want to understand if the speaker is being understood, if people understand what that person is saying, and they either are or are not. If you find yourself listening to somebody, better yet, if you find yourself speaking and the person listening says to you, can you repeat that? Say again. I didn't understand you. Please say again. That's what we're dealing with here. If you're constantly asked to repeat something for whatever the reason, you're in the white area here. You need some practice. The fifth criteria. Does the client have difficulty pronouncing individual sounds, such as the vowels or specific consonants, or even letter combinations like CH and TR and SH? Very, very difficult sounds. If they do, then you need more practice. Now, part of what I did, I asked the people conducting this assessment to decide if they felt that the person was motivated to continue improving their English, or were they just pretty much hanging out. And I'm happy to say that I only had one client that really didn't want to be there. And I had several clients that took advantage, and we were able to give them a second set of instruction. And I know by you watching this video that you're motivated. And I'm happy to have you here. I'm happy to work with you. And I'm happy to give you some insights how to improve your English speaking skills. And finally, I wanted to know if the client could read and write English. I remember one woman who could not read or write English, but I think she had a photographic memory. She was quite amazing to work with. So, ability, determination, and from there you can build skill. So I just want you to stay committed, give yourself a chance. This is just a very high-level review and assessment. We have some others that I'll be covering in the next several videos. Each one gets you to evaluate your performance in a slightly different way as you'll see it unfold. And just to, as we wrap up the video here in this conclusion, let me say, try to do this with a friend. Get some help. Help each other. Try this. See if it works for you. Remember, evaluations are only a starting point, and you want to use an evaluation to help identify your weaknesses. Once you know your weaknesses, you can then begin to fix them, and it's all fixable. Remember again, slow and steady wins the race. And maybe you've heard this before. I'm changing it slightly, especially after my breathing videos. Speak slowly, clearly, and completely, breathing air for each sound. This is Howard thanking you for being here. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you for watching, listening, and putting your brain to work. As we end the video, I would like to ask you to support the channel. If you are inclined, click thumbs up to give us a like. Click the subscribe button to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of new videos. If you have the time, please leave a comment and share your experience. Please know that I appreciate and value your viewership and comments very much. And finally, always remember to speak slowly, clearly, and completely using adequate air for each sound. This is the ultimate key to your success. This is Howard saying bye for now.